Hey guys, it's Lord here back again with another video, and today we're talking my top 10 favorite Marvel Legends of all time done by Hasbro since the beginning of 2014, better known as the Infinite Series era or the beginning of the Marvel Legends Renaissance. This is the best of the best, no worst of the worst here because they suck, they're lame, they might get their own list eventually, but of course let's start with the usual, and that is number 10. And starting off at number 10, we have the Marvel Legends Daredevil, released in the Hobgoblin wave, released in 2015. This is a character I can relate to personally. I am blind, and so is this guy, and he's also a smart individual with a sick skill set. Such as martial arts, and being able to beat the crap out of people with 2 sticks, or 1 if he combines them together. So definitely a cool character, and nonetheless a cool figure. Done on a decent body buck, has a little bit of the floppy doppy crotch syndrome, but once you get him posed, that cease to exist, especially in poses like this. So that's why he takes number 10 spot. And coming in at number 9, we have the Marvel Legends Brown Costume Wolverine from the Juggernaut wave, released this year. This guy not only comes with a set of interchangeable hands, makes it easier to give him retracted claw hands, but the claws themselves are removable in case you want to put those hands in storage. And he's also on a completely new body buck, which is a shorter, more squat body buck, which suits the character very well and will probably be used for the majority of the Wolverine figures that are released here on out. It's also done in that classic brown costume look. If they make a tiger stripe version, that may be the only thing that dethrones this figure, but until then, this is the Wolverine I prefer using in photos and the one I have in my collection, so that's why he takes the number 9 spot. And the number 8 spot goes to the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Punisher, released just a few months ago, around the same time as the Wolverine we just talked about. This guy is probably the definitive Punisher figure, not only coming with 2 interchangeable heads, but 3 guns, 2 of which are very well painted. The other one's a little weird because it's white with a yellow stripe on it, but I digress. All the white on this guy is applied very clean. All the line works really crisp. The skull, very well done. The heads are even painted decent for what they are. Granted, I think the skulls could have been a little better, but got what we got. What we got was pretty good. The only thing he lacks is a trigger finger, but he makes up for that by having a really nice wash on his harness and belt. So that's why he takes the number 8 spot. And the number 7 spot goes to the Marvel Legends Spider-Man, better known as the Pizza Spider-Man, from the Hobgoblin wave, same wave as the Daredevil we looked at earlier. But yeah, this is by far the best figure of that wave in terms of posability and the amount of stuff you get. He comes with a piece of pizza, for crying out loud. He comes with 2 interchangeable heads and 3 sets of hands. Just a fantastic figure all around. Very, very well done. The lines on mine are pretty well applied. Mine had a little goof up. One of his knees was put on upside down, of all things, but that was remedied. And I guess you could say honorable mentions go to the 2 Ben Reilly Spideys and even Spider-Man 2099, because they do use this same base body. And they are all very well done figures also, so that's why this guy takes the number 7 spot. And the number 6 spot goes to the Marvel Legends Hobgoblin from the Space Knight Venom wave, released right after the Juggernaut wave. So all these waves kind of got released at the end of the year. Kind of a jumble here. But nonetheless, this is still an awesome figure. Comes with a glider, pumpkin bomb, and 2 heads. The one you see before you, which is the demon head, which I prefer just a little bit more. And also the classic Roderick Kingsley head, which I do sometimes display him with also. I guess you could say his cape and little satchel could also be accessories, but they're on the figure in the box. I don't tend to include those. It's just like Punisher or Deadpool's harness, even Wolverine's claws. They just don't seem to fit the accessory category, but Otherwise, this is a fantastic figure. I prefer it to the Toy Biz one in terms of the sculpt. Maybe the heads could have been a little bit better. Maybe the cape could have not been tattered, or they could have included 2 capes. But for the $20 price point, he definitely deserves number 6 on this list. And soaring up in the ranks, we have at number 5, Marvel Legends Deadpool from the Juggernaut wave. Where do I start with this guy? He comes with 2 heads, a taco, a bazooka, 2 larger guns, 2 pistols, 2 katanas, and a knife. That's a lot of stuff. For the $20 price point, you're pretty much getting your money's worth. All he needs is like an unmasked Juggernaut head and a base, and you have the best action figure you could buy. But he doesn't, so he's not the best, but he is really, really, really good. I love posing this guy. I almost didn't put him this high on the list, but after posing him around a little bit over the holidays, just had Thanksgiving, this guy definitely deserves the number 5 spot on the list. And returning back to the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, at number 4 we have the Marvel Legends Carnage, released as part of the Ultimate Green Goblin wave, which came out in 2014, way at the beginning of Marvel Legends Rebirth, in my opinion. He was part of the second, technically, wave of Infinite series, but was part of the first full wave, because at the time you had the Mandroid wave, which was kind of subpar compared to the Spider-Man wave, because the Build-A-Figure for this wave was really good, the figures were really good, had a lot of variants, 3 in total, but out of that whole wave, this is my favorite figure out of it, more so than the Build-A-Figure even, which is sometimes why I get into a wave. But with that being said, this guy right here, definitely worth the money. Is a modified bucket cap. Mine has a little bit of the floppy toppy crotch syndrome, but that's not too bad when you get him posed. But he also has his tendrils flaring all over the place, those wicked claws, and even slightly pointed feet. So definitely captures the essence of Carnage, especially with that head sculpt. So he definitely deserves the number 4 spot on the list. And coming in at number 3, we have the Marvel Legends Taskmaster from the Onslaught wave, released earlier this year, 2016. This figure has one of the most innovative things in Marvel Legends today, and that is double jointed ankles. What do I mean by that? He's got a swivel on top of his hinge, which is something they don't do a lot. The last time I recall them ever doing that was the Marvel Legends Ironmonger Build-A-Figure. He had that double joint in the foot, which was reused on Mandroid, so I guess you could say that was the last time, but nonetheless, this figure is really, really cool, a really good reimagining of the character. Even though he is from the Spider-Man animated series that's on now, which not a lot of people like, I think it's decent compared to some stuff, but this figure here is freaking cool no matter what you think of it. He's got a laser sword, a shield, 2 interchangeable heads, one of which looks like a metallic Skeletor / Terminator head, the other one looks like Casey Jones, so make your pick. I like them both. I put this head on him for the time being because I needed the skull head on there, But with that being said, he definitely deserves the number 3 spot on the list. And the number 2 spot, if you can see him, goes to the Marvel Legends Venom, released as part of the Absorbing Man wave, which was put out earlier this year. He came out on top, even though I had really low expectations for this figure. I thought he had cankles, I thought his thighs were chunky, I thought his neck was long, I thought he was disproportionate all around, but in the end, this is an awesome figure of my second favorite Marvel character of all time, and favorite Spider-Man villain of all time. Comes with 2 heads and 2 sets of hands. What more could you want? Paint's pretty well applied on mine, but in the end, he definitely deserves number 2 spot on the list. And the number 1 Marvel Legends done by Hasbro since the Infinite series, in my opinion, is none other than Ghost Rider. Okay, now this list was probably the most difficult thing I've had to do in a while. Number one was no contest, but the rest, I did change a few people around. I did like some figures more than I did initially, but this guy has always been my favorite. Granted, he does not come with the metal chain he's holding, but I got that off a Junker Spawn figure that was super cheap, so it doesn't matter. The head sculpt on this guy, amazing. The best Ghost Rider head sculpt I think I've ever seen. The body is the AIM soldier / Star-Lord. Add that collar on there, you got a classic Ghost Rider. He's got that little chain wrapped around him. It's not the best thing ever, but it's there. It looks good. The paint is very well applied. I like how the texture of the plastic goes from like smooth to more of a matte on his suit. He's got a good looking belt and an articulated jaw, and of course amazing light piping because of that head sculpt. So definitely deserves the number one spot on the list. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. We just cracked 1,000. Thank you guys so much for that. It was a milestone I wanted to reach by the end of the year, and we did it. So I thank you guys so much for that. I'm not going to do a giveaway, only because I'm trying to get money situated and where it's going to be spent, what it's going to be spent on. You guys fall up in there. Sorry about this video being a little dark. I wanted to get it done today. We had overcast, which is always fun, but I did it anyways. Hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. And stay tuned, because next month I'm doing a special 12 Days of Christmas event, 12 days before Christmas. Don't want to miss out. Alrighty, catch you guys later.